Welcome to a new update, and it's a new week. We've just witnessed a very long streak in losing candles for Bitcoin, as we have been witnessing 7-8 red weeks in which Bitcoin's price is currently consolidating pretty nicely, in which we can expect upwards momentum. We're going to cover that in this update, but before we can continue, make sure to subscribe beneath, like this YouTube update, and check out my Twitter where you can find the daily content on the markets. When we're looking at Bitcoin's price, we know that we've had a very harsh crash. One was the macroeconomics, and second, we've known that Luna has had an impact on the price action of Bitcoin. And Luna has also seen an impact on the altcoins. And right now we can see that several altcoins are jumping left and right as we are into a period of relief. There's no conclusion that we've actually hit the bottom, but because of the massive impact that we've witnessed previously with the actual drop down or the drawdown of Bitcoin, we can have some relief and test some higher levels as the majority are expecting downwards momentum. The indices are also going up, as we've witnessed some news from Friday where the Fed announced that if the inflation goes down, in 2023 and 2024, they can start lowering the interest rates if the inflation is going towards levels that they actually want it to be going to. So in that case, we are probably into a temporary state of correction or state of hikes. So it could be beautiful if we get some news regarding the Fed and the future perspective from them. And this week is one of those weeks where Powell is going to speak, and also FOMC will be giving their numbers on Wednesday again. Now, when we're looking at the price action of Bitcoin, it's slowly grinding up, and there's another thing that you should be taking into account. We are having a bounce up, but the V-shaped recovery state is not gonna happen. That if there is a V-shape, you really want to have a very high volume bounce coming up from the actual drawdown, but that is not taking place at this point. And we still have a CME gap at 29k, and we do have one at 35, through which that if we are going to make the breakout upwards, it is very likely that we're going to see a run towards that 35k level, but still have to get down for another retest of those regions before we can start running back up. So that's the week. The week is going to be crazy, but what are we looking at when it comes to the TA? That's what we're going to cover now. If we're looking at the price action of Bitcoin, a few conclusions can be drawn again. One of them is that we have been testing every level, right? So what we have been doing is this massive correction south, in which we rejected that 29.8, made another low, again, through which we got that RSI going. Since then we have been chopping around, and we have been creating those crucial levels that we have to hold on to. And in this case, we tried to break upwards during the previous Friday, in which we got towards 30.4, rejected there, made a lower high, started falling south, making the Bart-Simpson pattern as we all know from, and then we have the retest here. So since then we have been consolidating, resulting into this breakout above 29.3, which was the crucial one. Then we rejection at 30.4, some more consolidation, and now we are clearly breaking out upwards, and then we can start making new levels that we should be holding to or that we should be targeting. First one is that right now we are making this break upwards, in which we are looking at resistance around 31.1k next. That is the final one. We are technically breaking or are ready to break out of this construction, as we have been testing resistance on and on. But in that case, the next one is 31.1, which is probably only going to be a minimal case of resistance. What I mean by that is that given that we have been testing all those resistance points, it is not unlikely that we're going to have such a consolidation pattern in which we start continuing, and then we can start targeting 32.8k as the next resistance zone, especially since that we have been flipping 29.6. We couldn't even get towards 29.4, which is a bullish signal. After that, we have been flipping another level here, which is the level at 30k, breaking through this breaker here, and now we start continuing upwards, in which if we want to get towards 32.8k, we have to clearly hold above 30.4k again. So in this perspective, we are breaking out. It is not unlikely that we're gonna have such a pattern in which we reject at 31.1 before we start continuing, and might have a slight test around 30.5k happening towards potentially 30.3 before we start continuing making that move towards 32.8k, and that is going to bring the markets up a little bit more than 8%. Altcoins are gonna run some more. At least this is strength that we wanted to see, but I'm still not convinced that we are done with the actual sideways or downwards pattern. I think that we just have to get some liquidity from the upside, as the majority is shorting the markets right now and will continue to do so. So I think that this upwards breakout is definitely what we're looking at with the markets right now. If we're looking at the Europe indices, they are also making some good movements. They are making a bounce here, held a crucial level when it comes to the Dutch stock markets. I think that we're going to have a continuation there with the green markets overall, in which the DXY is having that bearish divergence and looking eager for downwards continuation on a pattern here, resulting into a corrective move even more. If we're looking at altcoins, Ethereum against USDT, pretty much the same view when it comes to the price action. We got a nice breaker here. We did reject at 2035 as well. Retest, another breakout, flip off the level at 2020, and now we start continuing, in which the level around 2100 is probably going to be the resistance, maybe even 2125. Another flip taking place, and then we can start continuing, especially since altcoins have been doing that left and right. So if we look at the price action, we have been doing the exact same on altcoins already. So Phantom, for instance, bounced from 30 cents, rejected at 35.7, retest at 32, continuation, flip of 36 cents here, massive, and that flip that resulted into a massive breakout taking place. Another retest took place at 39.5, and then we started continuing towards the next TP, and I think it's done for now. We have been calling this in our platform, so it's a nice trade of 38%, and I think that you should not be looking for longs on Phantom at this point in time, but overall it has been reaching some beautiful profits here. And I think that if you look at the price action of Bitcoin, it is very much relatively comparable, as Phantom has been making this consolidative period here, which is ultimately how Bitcoin is looking at it right now as well. So when it comes to Bitcoin, I preferably want to see 30.3k hold. If we get towards 31, I think we won't be going lower than 30.5, and then we start continuing towards 32.8 and see how the price is going to react there. That's the update for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another fresh update. Make sure to subscribe beneath, don't do stupid shit, and have a wonderful day.